So all day, ever since I woke up, I was inundated with prompts everywhere to watch Zhang-Yi. Whether it was like I flipped on Netflix, it was the #1 movie, and then I get an article in my Google feed that says, you know, this Korean action sci-fi thriller is at the top of Netflix, and here's why. Like, all over the place, right? And yes, it's probably the Google algorithm. They know what kind of stuff I like. But, you know, normally I don't go for dubbed films. Every once in a while I will, and it's fine. But the only problem I have with it is when I watch, say, a Korean film or a Chinese film, German film, what have you, I feel like the dialogue suffers, and it was probably written really well in the original language, but I feel like a lot is lost in translation, and it makes it like, it makes it very, I don't know, it's like low level dialogue in the film, right? Like, it feels very childlike. And I'm sure that's just the translation. Like, if I were Korean and watching this, it would come across in a very different way. So at first I was thinking, like, I don't know if I want to watch this, because I suffer from this same thing every time I watch one of these dubbed films or even subtitled films, because it's not a direct translation no matter how close it gets. There's a lot of subtlety in language, and I feel like it's hard to capture that when translating. So I took a shot on it. I decided, you know what, this keeps getting recommended. I watched the trailer, and the VFX looked amazing. So I was like, okay, if nothing else, it's going to be a cool action flick with some awesome sci-fi visual effects. And I'm really glad I watched it. I'm really glad I decided to take a chance on it. I still felt like some of the dialogue probably suffered. I don't know this for a fact because I don't speak Korean, but I think it came across a lot better than a lot of stuff that I've watched. It still worked. I feel like the movie would have hit me more emotionally, on an emotional level, if it had been, you know, a direct translation, or if it had been in English as it was made. But since it wasn't, I do feel the dialogue still suffered a bit, but it didn't take me out of the film at all. Now, what I will say about this, like the main ingredient that makes this fantastic and so much fun, is the action was stellar, but the visual effects, the way these robotics moved, these AI robots moved in the film, it was awesome. It was like watching a Terminator film, but like in the very first sequence of the film, it makes you think heavily of like the beginning of T2, right? And I'm a sucker for, you know, artificially intelligent androids, or robots. I'm a sucker for that sort of thing. But I've watched some real stinkers when taking a chance. But this time, I got lucky. Zhang-Yi was pretty damn awesome. Was it the greatest, like, sci-fi flick I'd ever seen? No, it wasn't. But I liked the couple of little twists that they throw in throughout. And I'm not going to spoil this because it's so brand new, that I'm hoping I can influence a couple people to go watch it and then come back and talk about it in the comment section. But the visual effects alone are worth watching. It, like the action and the VFX together. Even if the story was terrible, it would be worth a watch. But the story is not terrible. The story is actually pretty damn cool. You know, it's in a world where people are basically living on space stations. There are some people on Earth, but only to work and to mine ore or something like that. But war breaks out between some of these stations. And this awesome, accomplished soldier, Zhang-Yi, she's a mercenary and she gets killed. But she is heralded as like one of the greatest soldiers of all time. And so the plan is, this is far in the future, in the 2130s, I believe. Because she was killed on this mission trying to take out this, I don't know what it was. She was trying to take out this facility. And because she didn't, the war waged on for a long time. But they still considered her, the greatest soldier of her time. And so they thought, what if we created an artificially intelligent robot using an exact replica of her brain? So they're trying to replicate her brain, but something's not clicking. And they can't get it to be any better than she was, right? Like, it still fails in the same exact part of the simulation of when she died. I love the twists and turns. Like I said, I'm not going to give those away. But a lot of very cool and very, obvious, but not obvious to be in this film. Like, things that you would go, oh, well, of course they would do that. But you don't see it as you're watching the film, that they're gonna throw that little twist in there. I don't know. I just had a great time watching it. The only thing that really kind of rubbed me weird is the ending. I didn't understand what the main character accomplished with her actions at the ending. Like, I'm not sure why she did it or what it accomplished by doing what she did. Like I said, I don't want to give it away. We can do spoilers in the comments. I'd love that. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're listening in podcast form, you can reach out on Instagram or Twitter at RealBrettScott and hit me up over there. Let's talk about it. I love talking about this sort of stuff. I love sci-fi. I love dystopian futures. I love entertainment and pop culture. That's what I do on this channel. So if you're interested in that sort of a thing, please subscribe to the channel or favorite or follow Daily BS Podcast. And if you do decide to stick around, then I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks.